I've interviewed D.O.C.
We were talking about that the other day in relation to this, yeah.
Yeah. And D.O.C. told the story about him just being an alcoholic, and he was drunk one night, and he passed out and crashed into a tree, went through the windshield, tore his whole neck up. I think all the teeth in, there was teeth in the tree, and it was like crazy. And never recovered from that.
Yeah.
His voice, when you listen to our interview, is extremely raspy. He was able to find, have a career as a writer after that. And he even tried to come out with an album at one point that no one really, unfortunately no one checked for, because it's just not the D.O.C. that everyone loved. But that was it. That was it for his rapping career. One bad decision and his voice just never came back. When you're a vocalist, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Yeah, D.O.C. probably got to be the worst example of that. I'm assuming that Reese, even if his voice changes, it ain't gonna be like that. We all take it for granted that, you think about every rapper smoking so much weed, not every rapper, but a lot of rappers, like, they're really doing what they can to push their fucking throat and their vocal cords to the limit.
Yeah, man, I think about that when I smoke weed.
Yeah.
I use my voice for a living too, so I can relate in that.
Yeah.
Well, you're actually on the cover of Penthouse.
Whew. Yep. That was crazy.
How did that come together?
It's something that happens with like these modern media companies where it's like they might have used to have dozens of employees, and now like they seem like they have like smaller staffs, and like somebody from the Penthouse staff just happened to be a big fan of me and my girl, and he just hit me up and he was like, this is what we want to do. We want to interview you guys. We want to put you on the cover. And I spent my entire life like obsessed with the media, just buying XXL and BMX magazines, skate magazines, video game magazines, comic book magazines, all this shit my whole life. And it occurred to me when they offered the cover that after all that time being obsessed with magazines, that I never once thought about being on the cover of one. Because I was always into BMX, but I was never going to be a pro. I'm always into hip hop, but I was never, they don't put podcasters on the cover of a magazine, and even that's like a new thing. I never even occurred to me. And so it was such a bizarre thing to finally be on the cover of a magazine, just sort of standing there.
Well, it's not like you and your girlfriend are far removed from the Penthouse aesthetic.
No, we're not.
With her being what would you really call her profession?
I know, it's weird because everybody's like, oh, she's a porn star, and in that, they think that she's getting piped by all these other dudes, when in reality, we've been together for 3 years and she only had sex with me. So, or besides girls that she hooks up with or whatever. So, me through dating her, I just like slowly got more and more comfortable doing stuff on Snapchat or doing stuff for her cam site thing or whatever. I refer to her as a cam girl because there's a lot of like applicable things you could say, and in the porn star world, like the porn stars don't like when someone like my girl says, oh, I'm not a porn star, because to them it's like, you should own being a porn star. You shouldn't be ashamed of having that title associated with you, even though to a lot of people, porn star really kind of like constitutes that you're like running around the city filming scenes with different dudes all the time, which my girl's not. So it's kind of a fine line there.
Well, she's done a couple of videos with you that they were never commercially released, but they made their way to...
Yeah, they make their way to, Pornhub, whatever.
Right. And we talked about this last time. You guys were offered a porn deal, but you turned it down.
Actually, we ended up accepting it. It's just not out yet.
Oh. Is this the exclusive right here?
This is an exclusive.
So you and your girlfriend, Lena or Lena?
Lena.
Lena The Plug, have an adult film by one of the big porn companies, like Vivid.
I can't say.
Can't say.
A bigger brand that everybody's familiar with.
A bigger brand. Yeah. They filmed a professional porn scene between you two. Was there other girls also?
No.
Just you two?
Us, yeah.
And the whole tape's going to be just you two?
Yeah. There's a script, like a storyline, a plot, all that shit, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to give away too much because I want it to be a little bit of a surprise, but yeah, we definitely did it. I'm not going to reveal the plot.
Right, because the plot is so important in porn movies.
It is, for me, I guess. No, I've never paid attention to one before in my life, so it's kind of weird having to film one.
Exactly. Can you say how much you got paid?
I can't say. We ended up, I think I said $100,000 last time. We ended up it was kind of an issue where we could have signed a bigger deal with a whack company, or we could have signed a bit smaller deal with a respectable company that we actually wanted to be involved with. So we ended up sort of sacrificing a little bit of it for assuming that there would be some degree of trust or whatever with working with a brand that we have a little bit of history with and stuff.
Right, back end money.
That too.
Right, because the Kim Kardashian tape continued to make money to this day. Yeah, you work with the right company, you'll keep getting paid.
That's true.
Okay, so you filmed this video, and it's coming out when?
I don't know. Probably within the next couple of months.
Okay.
Hopefully they don't wait too long, because that could be weird. I'm trying to lose weight right now, so if I got like a fat guy sex tape coming out, I mean, I probably weighed like 10 pounds more in the sex tape than I do right now, so that's already not ideal in my mind.
How do you feel about it after the fact?
Well, I didn't have any problems staying hard, which was good, because, man, they were telling me horror stories about dudes who basically, like, there'll be a whole set. They rent a huge condo. They have, multiple girls, blah, 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 and then the dude can't get hard, and they end up wasting a shitload of money. So I didn't have any problems like that, thank God, which is something I started to kind of worry about. But, I mean, it's kind of, it's like you're having sex, but you're doing a bunch of stuff that is sort of not fun at all. Like, you're having sex in weird positions that don't feel good, and you're sort of like, you're having sex, but you're also like holding a weird stretch. And like, you don't think about your hands. Like, you're very used to having sex and like being able to sort of plant both hands down. Well, when there's a camera right here, you got to sort of like have one hand out, and like, you just all these weird positions and stuff. And like, I mean, basically like the cum shot, it sat on her face for a while, and so like kind of got into her eye and like crept in there while they were getting all the shots and stuff, so I felt kind of bad for her at that. Like, she ended it like sort of pissed off because she had a little bit of stuff in her eye too much.
The risks of adult film.
And it's like
It's a dangerous game.
my life has changed because now she just books me for threesomes and stuff. Like, she has me booked to fuck these other two girls tonight. It's just in my calendar. Like, I had to
For her
OnlyFans or her private Snapchat, whatever it is.
Okay, so she does OnlyFans and private Snapchat.
Yeah, primarily.
And you actually have sex in some of these.
Yeah.
With other girls.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Does she make more money than you?
Well, she definitely has less expenses than me, since I have a whole bunch of employees and stuff. I mean, the truth is that it's in the same ballpark, for sure.
Okay.
But I have X amount of dollars I got to spend because I have like 7 employees or some shit. So for her, it's really like, she does have an assistant, and like sometimes she might have to pay somebody to edit for the most part, but she's really kind of holding it down herself for the most part. So, but she definitely does. I mean, I won't even speak about her. I know a bunch of girls who make 6 figures a month from OnlyFans or private Snap or whatever, and in some cases multiple 6 figures a month.
Has she made 6 figures a month?
Yeah.
Wow. So amazing that these businesses could just pop up because of technology.
Yeah.
Which 10 years ago, this would have been an absolute impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to create your own website and get people to subscribe and all that, but now with like OnlyFans and Snapchat Premium, and I'm not completely familiar, so I'm just kind of winging it here, but it seems like it creates a whole new commerce.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, and there's examples of people that you could just, like, they're pretty open about how much they make and stuff. I just had this girl, Jem Wolfe, on the podcast. She has a private Snapchat, or OnlyFans actually, I believe, where she doesn't even get naked. And she's the Australian girl who plays basketball, and it's like on World Star poster all the time. She's just got a big ass. She's got a couple thousand, I think she has 10,000 plus, like 10, 20,000 people paying $10 a month on her OnlyFans. So, she's not even naked. She mostly has a following because World Star shouted her out a bunch of times. She's actually a super cool girl. I interviewed her recently. But yeah, right there. Like, she didn't have to say it. You do the math. You're like, oh yeah, she's making a couple $100,000 a month. $100,000 at least.
Nice.
As a YouTuber, I'm looking at that like, wow, y'all got it figured out.
Would you ever be okay with your girlfriend doing a scene with a guy?
I don't think so.
Nah, not your thing?
Really. And it's weird too, because it's like, I know so many of these porn dudes, And I know that like they're fucking all kinds of porn stars all the time, and it's like nothing to them. And my girl's friends with some of these guys. Like we've all hung out together and stuff. But yeah, that would be a weird line to cross. Even though in a weird way, like I know a lot of these guys like well enough that it doesn't seem like it would be that big a deal. But just the principle of it would really make me not want to do it.
Principalities involved here.
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you're in the like sex porn star world long enough, a lot of shit that probably seemed like a big deal before just really starts to seem meaningless over time.
Well, I can tell you, I used to interview a lot of porn stars. I stopped a few years ago, and for anyone
Found the Lord?
No, didn't find the Lord. I'm an atheist like you.
Okay.
But for everyone who has been approaching us to do porn star interviews, I pass the torch to you.
I appreciate that.
So all the porn stars and everyone of that ilk could go to No Jumper, do an interview there. It'll be a great interview. We'll get a lot of views.
We'll take care of you.
And we'll just have our catalog of people in the past, and it'll be it.
There it goes.